The Foreign Affairs Ministry's conference room was draped in the soft glow of afternoon light, the weight of global responsibility pressing down on its occupants. Eleanor Prescott, a veteran in the world of diplomacy and currently serving as foreign minister, stood by the large map of the Baltica region, her fingers tracing the borders that had seen so much turmoil. Sitting opposite her was Liam Carter, a brilliant young diplomat with a reputation for innovative solutions. They were immersed in a discussion about the latest crisis that threatened to destabilize the region, a conflict that demanded more than just quick fixes.
Liam, the situation in Baltica is deteriorating faster than we anticipated. The complex web of alliances and rivalries here could easily pull us into a larger conflict. From your analysis, what aspect of this crisis should we tackle first to prevent an escalation?
The layers of mistrust between these nations are thick, Eleanor. But I think the most pressing matter is to prevent a breakdown in communication. What would you identify as the pivotal approach to handle this delicate situation?
We must focus on maintaining an ongoing dialogue between the involved parties. Without a reliable channel of communication, the chances of a diplomatic solution diminish rapidly. Question: Liam, in your view, what's the most effective method to diffuse the tension and keep peace on the table? A. Prioritizing continuous dialogue and diplomatic efforts. B. Reinforcing defensive alliances to dissuade aggressive actions. C. Leveraging economic interdependencies to stabilize the region.
Answer: A. Prioritizing continuous dialogue and diplomatic efforts.
Liam, I'm convinced that without an unbroken line of communication, option A, the situation could spiral out of control. Diplomatic efforts must be relentless to ensure that even in disagreement, the parties remain engaged in conversation.
Absolutely, Eleanor. The moment these countries stop talking is the moment we lose any leverage to steer them away from conflict. Diplomatic channels are our best tool to prevent an all-out crisis.
Dialogue keeps possibilities open. When nations continue to communicate, there is always a chance to de-escalate, which is critical when tensions are high.
The conversation shifted as they considered past conflicts where a breakdown in communication had disastrous results. They recognized that, no matter how tense the situation became, sustaining dialogue was crucial for any hope of a peaceful resolution.
Eleanor, while keeping the conversation going is crucial, we also need to think about how we use our influence. With so many variables at play, what would you say is our strongest lever to pull in this scenario? Question: in your opinion, Eleanor, how should we wield our influence in the Baltica region to guide it towards peace? A. Implementing targeted sanctions to discourage aggressive moves. B. Offering developmental aid as an incentive for cooperation. C. Forming a regional coalition to present a united front.
Answer: B. Offering developmental aid as an incentive for cooperation.
I believe that providing developmental aid, option B, could be the key to unlocking cooperation. By showing the tangible benefits of peace through economic development, we might convince the regional leaders that there's more to gain from stability than from conflict.
That's an insightful approach, Liam. Developmental aid doesn't just build economies, it builds trust. If we can position ourselves as a partner in their growth, it could create the goodwill needed to shift the dynamics towards peace.
It's about creating positive reinforcement. If the leaders see that their people are benefiting from peace, they're more likely to continue down that path.
They brainstormed the specifics of how such aid could be structured, ensuring it would appeal to the key players while fostering a sense of mutual benefit. Eleanor emphasized that this approach would not only encourage cooperation but also enhance their nation's influence in the region.
Let's not overlook the importance of how we communicate our intentions, both to the region and to the world. If our motives are misunderstood, it could backfire. Liam, what do you think is the most important aspect of our public diplomacy strategy? Question: Liam, how should we approach public diplomacy to ensure our actions are perceived as constructive rather than self-serving? A. Developing a narrative that highlights our commitment to peace and stability. B. Directly engaging with the local populations through cultural exchanges. C. Using digital media to counteract any negative propaganda.
Answer: A. Developing a narrative that highlights our commitment to peace and stability.
We need to craft a narrative, option A, that clearly articulates our commitment to fostering peace and stability in the region. If we don't control the story, others will, and it might not be favorable to us.
You're spot on, Eleanor. The power of narrative can't be underestimated. If we can show that our efforts are genuinely aimed at achieving peace, it will be much harder for our adversaries to paint us in a negative light.
Perception shapes reality in international relations. If we can make our narrative the dominant one, we'll not only strengthen our position, but also rally broader support for our initiatives.
The discussion shifted to how they could effectively communicate this narrative, not just to foreign governments but also to the global public. They considered various media strategies and the importance of consistency in messaging to reinforce their image as peace builders.
After covering these points, Eleanor, I've been thinking about the qualities we need to instill in our diplomatic team. What do you believe is the single most critical mindset for our diplomats as they navigate these complex challenges?
Above all, our diplomats need to embrace adaptability. The international landscape is constantly shifting, and if our team isn't flexible and responsive, we'll struggle to keep up.
That's a great perspective. Adaptability ensures that we're not just reacting, but anticipating changes and staying ahead of the curve.
Their conversation concluded with a shared understanding that the success of their diplomatic mission would depend on the adaptability and resilience of their team, coupled with a clear, strategic vision. With these principles guiding them, they felt ready to confront the challenges in the Baltica region head-on. As dusk settled over the city, Eleanor and Liam departed the conference room, confident that their strategy would guide the nation through the complexities of international diplomacy, securing peace and stability in a volatile world. Here are 5 key concepts related to the theme of international relations.
Diplomatic engagement, keeping communication open to prevent escalation and misunderstandings. Economic incentives, offering developmental aid to encourage cooperation and stability.
Public diplomacy, crafting and controlling the narrative to ensure international support and legitimacy. Strategic influence, using leverage points like aid to shift regional dynamics towards peace.
Adaptability, cultivating a flexible mindset within the diplomatic corps to navigate a constantly changing international environment.